I didn't mean not to have any props. Just realized that. If you want something for Shavasana, grab a bolster, grab a blanket. We will actually be using 2 blankets at the end. So we may have to go over and grab those. We're going to work on shoulder stand at the end. And that is something I'd like us to have blankets with to protect the neck a little bit. And we're going to be doing a little bit of Kundalini Yoga today. And Kundalini Yoga is something that I've always enjoyed. I haven't had tons of experience with it, but it's something I've always also wanted to get certified in. When the pandemic hit and had to close the studio, that was one of the studios that I was working at, was Kundalini Rising. And they unfortunately closed too. But really, really respect that lineage of yoga and what it offers. You what?
I used to go there all the
I
time.
loved it there. I used to go to all their workshops and special events, and occasionally a class. They had great teachers.
Every Sunday.
Yeah. That's so cool. There was a lot of happening people that would flow back and forth between Kundalini Rising and Liberation too, which is unfortunately also closed. But anyway, what I wanted to focus on today was something called Laya Yoga. And Laya Yoga is considered basically Kundalini Yoga, but when I first heard about Laya Yoga, it was considered the yoga of light. And so basically what it is, you're working with mantras, you're working with mudras, you're working with breath work, you're working with postures to help to clear your energy basically, and to help to stimulate and activate the chakra system, and to allow the awakening for the Kundalini that normally is coiled up at the base of the spine, and to get it to dance upward towards the crown of the head. So we'll be working on some kriyas at the beginning part of the practice. We're going to do another one at the end of the practice, but we're also going to do the regular blissful flow as well. So we're going to be getting a little taste of a little bit here and there. The idea of Laya Yoga is to not only stimulate and awaken this Kundalini and to bring it up into the higher center of the crown, but it's to allow us to achieve a higher state of consciousness. It's a word, Laya, that actually means dissolution or absorption. So the idea is to dissolve the karmic impressions that have been building through our lifetime. It's about overcoming the ego and absorbing back to true light or divine light or source energy. So that's the intention for today's practice. Let's go ahead and start sitting upright today. And we're going to start with some breath work actually learned from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. So we're going to take our hands into a fist in front of the chest or shoulders. And on the in-breath, just do this mechanic with me. The inhale, the arms lift up, the fingers lay wide. And as we exhale, we plump the hands back down. And it's a short, sharp inhale into exhale through the nose. Okay, so let's close the eyes and let's begin. Three, two, and one. Release the hands to the lap. Let the palms rest open. And just notice the effect it's had in your body across your chest, arms, and fingertips. We'll go through 3 rounds. That was the first one. Bring the hands back into a fist. Round 2. Three, 2, and 1. Relax the arms down. Notice how the bones may feel slightly heavy. You may feel as though you're increasing your vibration. Maybe creating some more spaciousness in your mind. So go into round 3 when you're ready. You are equally emphasizing the in-breath and the out-breath on this one. 3, 2, and 1. Relax the arms. And we're going to take the hands into Dhyana Mudra, which is the index fingers to the thumbs. The other 3 extend out and away. We're going to move into the Kalabhati breath, which is the breath of fire. It's different than what we just did, though. We had an equal emphasis on in-breath and out-breath. This time, the emphasis is on the out-breath, and we are specifically pumping the stomach in and forcing that exhalation out, and then the inhale will naturally come. Okay, it's called breath of fire. That forced, sharp exhalation through the nose, and that forced belly pumping in, navel towards the spine. Three, 2, 1, relax. Move into a natural breath. That's the breath I feel like gets you a natural high. We'll do another round of breath of fire. Let's begin. Notice how it really cleans out the nasal passages. Notice with the belly pumping in, this is a good stomach recharger. It's strengthening for the diaphragm muscle. It helps to expel any allergens or toxins at the base of the lungs. 3, 2, 1, let it go. And on this last round of breath of fire, we're going to change the mudra. We're actually going to create almost a fist, but the thumbs are up, almost like you're Kentucky. And instead of having the arms out at 90 degrees, instead of having the arms straight up alongside the ears, they're going to be more at this angle, more of a Y shape or 45-degree angle. And it's the same breath. So let's sit up tall, close the eyes, and begin. Emphasis on the exhale. Inhale to naturally come. I know it's a little bit more challenging to do this, which is why we're only doing 1 round. But this is good for the yin meridians that travel through the inseam of the arms. Also good for draining the lymph nodes and creating that lymph drainage in the armpit area. 3, 2, 1. Relax your hands down. Take a moment just to notice the effects. See if you can visualize light when you're gazing in and up to your mind's eye. Magnetize any energy you're sensing and feeling up in that direction as well. Or even perhaps higher into the ground. And then turn your hands down to the knees, lift the eyelids, and float up through your chest. And as you exhale, you're going to turn towards your left thigh. You're going to drop down and sweep over to the right. And inhale to the top. Now, don't feel like you have to go very low over your lap. This particular kriya can be done in many different ways. You can incorporate that twist at the top. Or you can start to smooth and circle it out. Some people like to add in a little cat-cow element. Just close your eyes, move at your whim. Go at your own pace. Go slow, you can be moderate, you can be really rapid, depending on how it feels. Sometimes I like to begin slow and speed it up, and then slow it back down. This is good for the kidneys, this is good for the adrenals, this is good for the hips, the waist, the low back. Think about this movement representing the Kundalini Shakti awakening and dancing upward through the chakras towards the crown of the head, the highest state of consciousness. Let's do 3 more. Take a moment to recenter at the top. Flip the hands open for a symbol of receptivity. Just notice what you're experiencing within. Just if that helped free up your low back a little bit. You're sitting with the breath work. Absorbed with this energy. So you are a sponge. Open up the eyes and look at how you've been sitting or crossed your feet, and you're going to cross it the other way. Hands back down to the knees, lift up through the chest. This time you're going to turn towards your right, drop down and sweep over to the left and inhale up to the top. I don't know if anybody has got allergies. I know I do since I moved to Nashville. And there's something called Nasya oil. It's an Ayurvedic technique. It's a blend of eucalyptus oil, usually some type of carrier oil. And you put a few drops in your nose, hanging your head off the edge of the bed. Let it drain through the sinuses. And it's medicinal for allergies. And I'm just saying this because I know someone in town that I've met locally. She's from East Nashville. And she's a herbalist. And she's a Reiki master. And she's really earthy. And anyway, she makes Nasya oil now. 3 more. At the completion of that, come back to the top, sit with it. Be feeling more balanced since we've gone both directions now. Affirming, I am absorbing all the light of this awakened energy. Let's lift and spread your arm shoulder height. And you're going to curl the fingertips in towards the shoulders. This is a twisting kriya. So we'll inhale to the left, exhale right. And we're just moving back and forth. And because we're moving fairly quickly, your breath is obviously quicker as well. This type of twisting kriya is good for the liver. Also So good for all the other benefits of awakening that Kundalini Shakti, that dormant energy that has all that creative life force. So these creams are good if you're a creative person and maybe you're lacking some inspiration or creativity. Three, two, one. Return to center. Rest your arms down. Palms open. Just checking in. Tuning in. Lift the lids of the eyes, look down at your legs. You're going to take your hands to grip a hold of your shins, kind of close to the ankles. And this is a short, sharp movement, and it's kind of like a cat-cow. So it's inhale, exhale. So just do the body mechanic with me. Inhale, the chest pops up, the shoulders crawl down the back, and the exhale, we round it out and draw the navel in. You got it. Now we're going to add in that quick breath. Flexing the spine, opening and contracting the core. This builds some heat too. Go at the pace that's comfortable for you. So if you get too lightheaded, going at fast speed, you can slow it down. 3, 2, and 1. Relax, the hands open. Notice what you're sensing in your body. Notice how it's getting, I don't know, hopefully for you, it is for me, feeling much easier and more effortless to sit here. This good posture. And that's due to the prana rising in the body, bringing buoyancy to the heart, loftiness to the crown, and an ease in your seat. Absorbing all of the light of this awakened energy. Open up the eyes. We're going to come onto shins and ankles if this is okay for your knees. If this is not good for the knees, do it this way in standing Vajrasana. Test the waters there. Yeah, absolutely. If you're on your standing knees, you probably need a blanket for extra padding. Or one of those great new inventions. I love it. Lift the arms up overhead, and this is called corkscrew. So we're going to create this mudra. Now, for Jay, right thumb over left, and for the ladies, left thumb over the right. And then the shoulders form up towards the ears, the arms kind of hug the sides of the head, and we're basically rotating the hips, and at the same time rotating through the ribs that allow the arms to come along with. I know the first time you do this, it's like, what? But this kind of corkscrew action mimics the Kundalini awakening and rising. And then the opposite direction. Almost feels like a belly dance. And then come up to the top, and then exhale, release the arms. So if you're in standing Vajrasana, you can stay there for this one. If this is still okay for you, you can stay here sitting on your heels. We're gonna do one more Kriya, and then we're gonna drop to child's pose before we move on. So the arms are kind of hanging beside the body. And this is rapid repetition with the arms. And we're gonna add in a mantra with this one. And the mantra means I am truth, I am centered and grounded in my truth. Truth is my identity. Any one of those. So it looks like this. Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam. Three more. Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, and fold into child's.
So just bow over your lap. The arms can circle around the body. Palms open around side your feet.
And resting on the brow. Be here now. Letting everything go, letting that repetition movement go, letting that strong breath work go, and just absorbing this energy to dissolve the impressions that have been building. Karmic impressions, as well as the hold of the ego. That's the concept behind Laya Yoga. I am light. I am absorbing all the light of this awakened energy. All right, we're going to continue to move on more into a flow, but we'll do a couple more kriyas towards the end. So on your next in-breath, let's stretch the arms out in front of us. Rock up to hands and knees. Exhale to downward facing dog. And when you arrive to your first downward facing dog, feel free to bend one knee to straighten the other leg, dropping the heel closer to your mat, and then swapping sides. Once you're able to stretch out your calf muscles, return to a regular downward facing dog, and then find your feet at the top of the mat. So you can walk, lunge, or float there. And then hang here, relaxing your arms, softening your shoulders, loosening your neck, allowing the head to get heavy. Opening more of the hamstrings. Last week, we focused on that acronym of fear. And we worked specifically through the kidney and the urinary bladder meridians. And this was one of the poses we used for opening up one of the major meridians that correlates back to the urinary bladder. Now press down to the soles of the feet. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead. And then exhale, bring hands to prayer position apart. We're just going to do 5 Surya Namaskaras. So as you inhale, let your arms circle wide and up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down to Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen out halfway. Exhale, bow all the way in. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, crank the shoulders past the wrist, lower down the chaturanga like low push-up, hover until you're ready to breathe in. And then let your inhale lift you up. Good, allow your exhale to roll you back. Pause here for 5 rounds of breath. So all that we do here on the mat is really a positive manipulation to awaken and to direct the energy. Even here being flipped upside down, we're allowing gravity to draw that Kundalini Shakti at the base of the spine more to the third eye crown of the head. Inhale, step the feet forward. Once you line up your feet, come halfway up, look out with your eyes. Good, exhale, drop back in. Inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands come back to the heart. All right, we're gonna do a few more. Inhale, let your arms circle wide and overhead. Exhale, swan dive down to Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen, Ardha. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, rock and roll. You're focused on alignment, but that's not the only reason we're here. Alignment, yes, but breath more. Once you establish yourself with your pranayama, you'll discover that your body will naturally start to create that blend between effort and ease. Doing and being. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana at the top of the mat. Exhale, close back in. Inhale all the way to the top. Exhale, recenter. Round 3. Inhale. Exhale, fold, hinging from the hips. Inhale, create some space. Exhale, close that gap. Inhale, step into plank. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, rise to up dog. Exhale, clear yourself back to downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. I would suggest either the diaphragmatic breath or the Ujjayi breath. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release. Inhale up. Exhale, namaste. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to up. Exhale to down dog. Holding and breathing. Grounding and rising. Strengthening and lengthening. All with your breath. And the light, and absorbing the light from this awakened energy. Inhale, plant the feet at the top of the mat. Radiate your heart forward and out. Exhale, melt back in. Inhale again. Exhale, reset. All right, last Surya Namaskara. Inhale. Exhale, close in. Inhale, sprout. Exhale, release. Inhale to plank. Exhale, that low push-up. Inhale, move up. Exhale, take it back. Engage that oneness with your breath. Inhale, the feet to the top, lift up halfway. Exhale, drop back in. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Right, we're gonna do another Kriya here, similar to what we did with the arms, except instead we're coming up and down, all right? It's very simple. Sat, nam. 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 Two more. Sat, nam. Sat, nam. Release. Truth. I am centered and grounded in my truth, for truth is my identity. Part of that truth is that we are light bodies. Look at how bright, glowing the sun is. Think about that with all of the stars. We are composed of the same things as stars. Now inhale, step back, down dog. From downward facing dog, I want you to look forward towards your hands. I want you to bend your knees, and you're gonna hop the feet just behind the hands. Let the tailbone drip down, let the crown lift up, and bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. And if you can do this, push the elbows into the inside of your knees and thighs. It will widen them. It will increase that stretch through the growing through the hips. This is also great helping to eliminate things from your body. So good position for reverse, even if you're on your back. Good position if you're ever having constipation. It gets you lower to the ground. It helps things to drop. Helps the muscles to relax. All right, now bring the hands down. And you're slowly going to spin the heels back behind the toes. And then you're going to heel toe the feet towards each other. Heels touching, toes turned away. I never took dance, but anybody who's ever taken ballet, they're like, oh, this is the ballet dance. I have no idea. I'm taking their word for it. We're gonna elevate the heels up. I should have told you might need blocks for this. So the heels stay up the whole time for this. This is a Kundalini variation of frog. And as you exhale, bend the knees, you're dropping the tailbone towards the heels. Now in Kundalini, they go super fast. We don't have to go that fast. I don't like to go that fast in this one. So you're gonna inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And you're just going back and forth. Three more. When you come back, turn your heels back behind your toes, bow over. And then inhale, step back down like facing dog.
Lift your head up. We're gonna bounce forward to bear. Okay, different than squat. So the feet hop forward, the feet stay square, the elbows lift to the knees. So the feet go wider, Andy. Yeah. Yeah, looks good. Tailbone shoots towards the back wall, crown towards the front wall. And I have a tendency to loosen up my belly too much here, to cape my low back. So draw the lower belly in. All right, we're gonna try our hand at an arm balance. So the way you do this, we crouch down, we take the hands to the floor, right alongside the inner part of the heel. We sit down onto the upper part of the arms. We heel toe the feet towards each other, flex and float them off the floor. This is called Bhuja Pendasana. So if you can see, my legs are wrapped over the arms. And then Titabasana, the firefly, is stretching the legs and the feet out. And then coming down. So, Heather, you were doing crow, weren't you?
I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. I don't have
Okay.
glasses on, so I can go.
You were doing fantastic, but you were doing a different arm balance.
Okay.
So it looks like this. Bear,
Glasses help, thank you.
crouch down, hands down. And then notice, I fan my knees open. And then when I sit down, I squeeze the knees to the shoulders.
I don't even think I get my palms down to do that. That just,
Yeah, and that may be. Yeah, that may be. So, yes. And then, once you're here, squeeze the knees to the arms, and then heel toe the feet in front of the hands. Yep. And then you flex and float the feet. You're there. Yep, you're there. I knew you would be. Awesome.
That's good.
Is that a new pose?
Oh, yeah.
what is that? What is that called?
That's called Bhuja Pendasana.
And what was the one I was doing? Because I don't.
You were kind of doing, you were
I
doing
made
more
my own
pro. Your knees were at your arms instead of legs over the
Yeah.
arms.
Okay.
It was more like a pro. And then I saw you bring the head to balance with
I was
shoulder,
afraid I was
on the
gonna fall
block.
I was afraid I was gonna,
Yeah,
that was self-protection.
yeah. Now the crow pose that you were doing something similar with, you actually keep the head up
Right.
and shift and float the feet. So if you drop the head, it makes you feel like you're gonna fall flat on your face. So it's finding that fulcrum and balance where you're just on the edge of tipping forward, but you don't. But a lot of people use the blocks at first, so they're not concerned about that. And some people come close to a wall and bring the head to a wall. But I don't know, I'm done with that. All right. These are bent. Hands are gonna cross under the knees. And then I kind of lean to one side to slide the other one through a little bit more. And you can stay here for Kramasana tortoise, or you can flex the feet and let them slide out to lower. Of course, that depends on the flexibility behind the legs, as well as the hips. So find where you want to remain, where you can comfortably breathe. And you are kind of rounding the back of the tortoise shell. And these poses are very outward with their expression, and some are very internalized. This is one that's more internalized.
I am absorbing the light of all this awakened energy.
And slowly slide your hips through. Come up, soles of the feet meet. Take your hands behind your back and push through the fingertips so you can lift your chest and just flap the knees for a moment. By the way, don't ever push the knees down with your hands or put weight over your thighs here. It's too much. A friend of mine years ago decided to go to Austin, Texas to get certified in yoga. And they put weights over their thighs in this pose. And her helped me out, Mandy. Labrum of her hips
Oh, yeah.
were ripped.
Mm.
She was bedridden for 2 weeks. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't
And they
know
don't
why they did that.
heal. Yeah, they don't heal well either.
It hurts.
Oh,
So now bring your hands together at your feet and open the feet out like a book, and just notice when you turn the feet out how the knees naturally go a little lower, because we're helping to rotate the hips open with that gesture. And then lift your chest and then gently fold forward and down. Baddha Konasana. Secure myself. I accept whatever is. Inhale, gently draw back. Draw back up to the top. Lace the feet mudra around each big toe. See if you can reside on your sits bones, the back side of your sits bones. And if you need to keep your knees bent, you can do an upright happy baby. If you can stretch and straighten out your legs into a wide V, that's the Vista Konasana. And you may roll back, have fun with it if you do. Zip up through your midriff for some core support. Breathe. Okay, so you know that breath of fire we were doing? The mouth is closed. We're going to be doing one in bridge pose where the mouth is open, the tongue is expelled. Kind of like
panting.
panting, yeah. Okay, so we're going to come down to the back with the knees bent. The arms are going to lodge to the floor beside you. And then really pressurize the feet to tuck and lift your seat off the ground. Roll the inner thighs towards one another. And then we'll start that breath work. 3, 2, 1. Close the mouth. Salivate the mouth. Swallow. Round 2. Three, 2, 1. Close the mouth. Re-wet the mouth. Swallow. Last round. Three, 2, 1. Close the lips. Saliva come back. Swallow only if you need to. And gently roll it down one vertebra at a time. Catch your knees, hug them in. Float the feet up in the air. Scoop the belly in. Peel the back side of the head up and lengthen the arms so it's hovering above the floor. Okay, now we're gonna be breathing into 5 counts, pumping the arms 5 times. Breathing out to 5 counts, pumping the arms 5 times, okay? Last one. Head your knees in, lower the head back to the floor. Open your arms out nice and wide, let your knees roll off to the left. Five breaths. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, roll them to the right. Once you've got yourself in this twist, open up the channel of the breath. Breathe 5 more times. The end of your fist, you're going to roll to your right side, push down through the left hand, and we need 2 blankets. Just one. Just say one. Just say one. Or do you need 2? Oh, okay. For shoulders.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Okay, so we're using 2 blankets. I was taught to use 2 in my lineage of yoga, which was originally Ananda yoga, even though I do an eclectic blend. Okay, in Iyengar, they use 5 of these blankets. In Ashtanga, Vinyasa, and a lot of other styles, they use 0 blankets. And I've done both. So we're just gonna use 2 because we don't want it to be a neck stand, we want it to be a shoulder stand. And they're in such close proximity, it can easily become a neck stand. And a lot of people, especially nowadays, from constant texting and working on a computer, are looking down, and we're losing the C curve of the neck. So when I started seeing a chiropractor, I discovered I've lost the C curve to my neck, which is bizarre because every time I've ever seen myself meditating, I'm like this, you know, and I'm like, really? Lost the curve in my neck? I thought I had too much of a curve in my neck. But anyway, most of us are, and I know my son is, because I'm like, stop. By the way, I wish I was, okay, imagine I'm sitting at the airport, right? Or somewhere in a doctor's office or something, you're waiting, right? The chair is usually like this, and what are we doing? We're looking down at our phones. So one thing that you can do is just lean forward, right? And you lean forward and you have your phone here, so your head's not all the way down. I saw someone post that, that's like a physical therapist, and I'm like, okay, that's brilliant. So I'm trying to teach my son to do that now. Okay. So what we do, you can watch me first. I'm stacking my back and my shoulders on top of the blanket with a little bit of that ridge at the base of the neck, so the head goes off to the mat. If you're wearing slick clothing, it might be better to take the mat and double it over, so you've got that sticky matte texture, so you're not sliding with your fabric. Okay, so what we do, we start to lift the legs. And then we walk the hands towards the shoulder blades to try to point the toes and lift. Do you see how I can talk to you? You know, my voice hasn't changed that much. And then notice this. If I don't use the blankets, and I do the same thing, look how much traction is in my neck. So that's how my voice changes. And then I can't even get a full deep breath. All right, so that's another reason the blankets are really nice to use. So back, shoulders on the blankets, head tips over to the sticky mat. Then when you're ready, lift your legs up, catch your hips with your hands, and then you're walking the hands down the back towards the shoulders. And then you're pointing the toes and trying to lift the ankles over the hips, trying to elevate the hips over the shoulders. Sometimes this is even called candlestick pose. Or at least it is in yoga kids. And this is considered the queen of asanas. Right? We're flipping ourselves upside down. We're manipulating all this awakened, stimulated energy, all this Kundalini Shakti that we've been trying to awaken. We're trying to drain it down through encouragement with that subtle, powerful force of gravity to bring it to the higher, more spiritual centers, to elevate our state of consciousness. That's the idea behind it. Hold it for 3 more breaths if you can. And if you want to do a quick plow pose, perhaps. The legs can angle over the face, the feet can hover, or they may tap the floor. Either way, it's fine. And then you can try core work, hiking the legs back up to shoulder stand. Now to come out, lean the legs towards the face. Let your hands come back down to the floor. Scoop in through the abdominals and roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Good. Now come up to sit. We're gonna take the hands behind the backside of the head, and we're gonna open up the throat and lean the head back into the hands. Close your eyes and breathe. Gently silence. Palms open on the left. Notice how you feel now. We're going to use these 2 blankets. So if you could roll one up. You are going to listen to a song for Shavasana. And it's by India Arie. You guys know that artist? I read this article about her, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And she was in the industry, music industry, was gathering up all this fame and fortune, right? And then had, I don't know, I think they were trying to control her too much, and she was losing some of her creativity and, how she wanted to present herself. Anyway, she totally got disheartened
left the industry, went into deep depression, and then got into yoga. She got into yoga, found herself again, re-empowered herself again, rediscovered her love of songwriting and music, and got back into the industry doing it her way, okay? Which is inspiring. So this is a song that I thought of this morning when I was doing this topic, Laya yoga, because like I said, I used to hear it called yoga of light. Oh yeah, fold the other blanket, open it up, fold it long ways in half. So the rolled ones under the knees, the other ones over the cross of the hips and the upper thighs. Kind of tuck it in so it can be grounding. And this song, I gotta find it. It's called I Am Light.
Mistakes that I have made, or any other things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light.
we were able to take in some of those lyrics. I am not the mistakes that I have made. I am not the family that I was born to. I am not my race, the color of my skin. I am not this age. And it goes on and on. But I am the divinity within. I am light. Beautiful message that goes with our theme today. The melting away of all the accumulation of life's impressions. Which in turn helps to liberate us and set us free. Go ahead and begin to engage with our breath. And once you enliven your breath, create some movement in your hands and feet. Eventually hug your knees in. You may have to remove that blanket from the thighs. Sway on your back. Turn over to your favorite. Come up to take a proper seat. And let's bring our hands back into the mudra for wisdom. The wisdom that comes from that heightened state of awareness and consciousness. We all be with this as we depart. Sit silently for 7 rounds of breath. Hands together. We all walk away from this practice recognizing that we are light. May we burn away the karmic impressions of the ego to be able to live and to be that light. The light in me honors and bows to the beautiful radiant light in each of you. Stay. Now.